Abbas here from Golden Motor. Today we're going to discuss all the aspects of the EggRider display. So the EggRider display is by far one of the most compact displays, e-bike displays on the market right now. It is very versatile, so it can work with a variety of different e-bike systems. Right now I have it paired with the Bafang BBS HD. So the dimensions of the display part of it is 4 centimeters by 2 centimeters. And then the pin pad portion right here is 3.5 centimeters by 2 centimeters. On the top left over here, it tells you your remaining battery in voltage. On the top right is the remaining battery in percentage. This EggRider has 2 modes, has an M button right here. If I press it, it goes into the off-road. And then if you press it again, it goes back to the road mode. This shows you right here, the big number over here is your speed. The second number over here is your watt hours. Most of the things on this front screen are all customizable. You can go to miles per hour, you can put the current over here, voltage over here, and I'm gonna connect my EggRider to the Bluetooth on my phone, and I'm gonna show you how to change all that in a little bit. At the bottom over here, it tells you your time. And at the bottom right is your trip value, like how much kilometers you've gone. I showed you the M button. The power button is on the top over here. So to turn it off or turn it on, you just hold it for a few seconds. The up and down button over here is to adjust your pedal assist levels. So this one goes all the way up to 9. Again, you can customize that, and I'm gonna show you that in a second. If you hold down the up button, your bike goes into walk mode. So it goes into a steady like 5 kilometers per hour, something like that. So if you're going up a hill, it'll give you a nice little push so you can walk with the bike. And if you press and hold the down button, if you have lights installed on your bike, the lights will go on. So I have the EggRider paired with the phone via the Bluetooth. When the EggRider comes from wherever you get it from, it's not activated. So what you have to do is when you log into the EggRider app, it'll ask you your store name, your order number, which will be provided by the store you get it from. For example, from us, it will be Golden Motor, and then your order number, which will be provide, and then your email address. And then EggRider will email you your activation code, and then you just plug that in. It usually takes about half a day or a day to get it back. And you plug it in and you press over here, it activates your membership, and then it's paired with your display. So as you can see, the phone screen is mirroring the front screen of the display. Some people like to have the phone on too because the EggRider display is kind of small. If you want to see all the detailed specs a little bit bigger. But most people just are concerned about the speed and the up and down button for the pedal assist, which is, all you need for this display basically. As you can see, I'm doing the up and down button, and the pedal assist over here is going up and down, so it's all connected. But if you want to program your EggRider, you need the app for the EggRider on your phone. So this is where you would go, and all the fun starts over here. So on the top left, these are your options right here: search, rides, display settings, app settings. And then this will depend on what system you're riding on. So if you're riding on an ASI controller, this will be ASI related. I'm riding on a Bafang right now, so this is what the Bafang settings are. I won't go into too much detail on the programming of the Bafang. I'll go into like what the options are. But if you want to see a video that I already did on the 2 most common questions we get for Bafang programming, I'll put that on the top. Basically, I covered how to program your throttle independent of your pedal assist levels, and how to have throttle at pedal assist 0. We got a lot of questions about that, so we did a video on that. So one of the cool things about this EggRider display is that it stores up all your rides. I think that's really cool. So all the times, well, I haven't done any riding on this, but it stores up all of them. I just turned it on a couple of times, so it records everything basically. If you want to delete them, you just press the delete button. You're about to delete 49 trips with distance lower than 0.1 kilometer. Yeah, I haven't wrote it, so I will delete it. So it deletes all of them if you want, but again, it stores up all your rides. That's actually a very cool feature of this EggRider display. So the next option on the settings for the app is the display settings. This is where your meat of your settings will be. So let me zoom in a little bit. First option is your preferred units. So would you like to have it in metric or imperial, miles per hour or kilometers? I'm just gonna leave it in kilometers. Your secondary unit, as you saw on the display, mine was set at watt hours efficiency, but you can change that. So you have an option to do it power, which is in watts, or current amps, or your third option, which I have set, is efficiency, so watt hours in distance. Your third option is your protocol. So this is where I said, you know, your EggRider is so versatile. It works with these following systems. Mine is set for Bafang, but again, let me put that on. You can see all those different options. Let's go back. Do you want to reset your trip manually or at startup? So I'm just going to do it manually, but you can also do it at startup. So it resets your trip every time you start it up again. Immobilizer, if you want to put a lock on your system where it is like a regular bike and the e-bike function doesn't start until you actually have to start it up with the app, you have an option to do that, but I'm not going to put a lock on there. Road restrict. So basically what that means is if you want to have it restricted on road mode. So road is your careful, where like, you know, you have to follow the speed limit of wherever you're living. So I usually ride mine off road, so I don't want to restrict it to road. The options are you want to restrict it to road, yes. Change modes only from the app. So you have to have the app there to connect it to change it. And then another option is yes, change mode from the display when the app is connected. So you can do that also. If you want to start up your display with road mode, yes or no. I'm just gonna say no because most of the time I'm riding off-road. So your next option is power off. So how many hours of inactivity your display will automatically turn off. You have an option of never, after 5 minutes, after 2 hours, or 10 hours. I think I'm just gonna do 5 minutes. So do that. Your mode labels. So you can either label it road or off-road, or you can label it eco or sport. So I'm just gonna do eco and sport. The settings on your display will not be set until you write, if you see that down there, if you write it on your controller, and then you'll just have to turn your display on and off, and then it'll be saved. So I haven't saved any of my settings yet. I'm just gonna go through it first. Assist level. This is, a lot of people ask about this. So you can have assist levels of all the way up to 9. You have an option of 3, 5, or 9, but I'm just gonna leave it on 9. And how does your display layout look like? So this is version number 2. Some people like to have the version number 1, but I'm just gonna do number 2. Keep the headlight on at startup, yes or no. And then the mode button, I showed you that M button over here on the display. So if you hold it for a short moment, it changes the modes. And if you hold it down, then it gives you the stats, like your trip stats and your odometer stats. And you can change that over here on the phone by pressing, like, you know, if you hold it for a short time, then it changes the mode. Or you can have, when you press it for short, it changes the stats, and then vice versa. The next option is the Bafang switch mode. So you have an option of only live data or live data and settings. Next option is to have your max speed road limit. Depends on where you are living. You can change that. Right now I'm in Ontario, so that's gonna be 32 and done. Again, none of it's changed until you actually press the right button and it changes on the controller. So I'm gonna do that at the end after I show you. Max off-road speed limit is gonna be whatever you want it to be. Your wheel size. So you have all these different options for wheel size depending on what your wheel size is. And then you can also put in the wheel circumference in millimeters. The next option is for your battery settings. So depending how many batteries you have, you can store up all your battery settings over here. Nice option to have. You can store the battery voltage, voltage at 0%, voltage 100%, and your capacity right here. So I want to save all my settings. So what I'm gonna do is press the right button. So it says display settings, right, okay. And now I'm gonna press turn off my display and turn it back on. So now it saves up all the settings over there. Your connection was lost. Let me go back to the connections page so I can reconnect again. So it says connection lost. Let me connect. You press on it. There we go. We're connected back again. Let's go back on that settings page. So the last option over here was the advanced. So this is where it gets really, for all those people who like it very technical, you can do voltage calibration, you can reset battery stats, battery charging, current calibration, your odometer reset, and if you have an ASI controller, you can do an ASI password. So the next option on this settings page is your app settings. So this will affect only your app right here. Startup connection, auto at startup, or you can do it manually. If you lose connection to your display, most of the time when you're out and about, sometimes if you don't have good connection, your app will automatically retry in 30 seconds, retry in 1 minute, 5, 10, or 15, or you don't want it to do that. So I'm gonna leave it at 1 minute. So again, all these are app settings right here. Do you wanna use GPS data, yes or no? And all these graphs right here. So you have an option of dark theme. I'm gonna put that yes. Voltage, current, speed, GPS, altitude, battery percentage, display temperature, motor temperature, battery temperature, power, efficiency, accuracy position, and altitude accuracy threshold. And a lot of different options on this app right here. So it's really, really cool. What language you wanna have your app in, so you can choose over here. You have an option of English, Italian, and Spanish. And range adaptability factor. So the next options right here are depending on what system you have. Again, I have a Bafang, and this is what the beauty of this display will come in, where you can actually program your system on the go as opposed to plugging in a USB and having your laptop and doing it at home. You can actually change your parameters on the go. Most people won't change all these display settings and rides like when they're actually riding, but these settings you can on the go. So for example, when you go into Bafang basic, this is where your pedal assist levels are. And I did a video on how do you get pedal assist on, you get actually throttle on 0. You just put ones over here, but I did a detailed video. I'll put the link above. But this is showing you like what assist level you're getting on each level. So, you know, most of the problems that we get is like people saying, hey, I'm getting too much assist on 1. So you can change that on the fly in this right here, which is really, really cool. You can't do this with any other display. So you can tinker around with the pedal assist levels. You can increase your current that you're getting, your controller is getting from your battery. So this is all the way up to 30 amps, that's the max. You wanna have a low battery protect, so you can do that. You can adjust your wheel size over here also. Speed meter model and the speed meter signal. And if you wanna change these settings, make sure you press the right button. The second option is your Bafang pedal. So again, I'm not gonna go into detailed, I'm gonna make a detailed video on all the Bafang programming later on, but I'm just gonna read it off to you. So the basic settings is like designated by assist, is command, speed limit, start current, keep current. Advanced, the options are pedal type, your slow start mode, startup degree, work mode, time of stop, current decay, and stop decay. This is really, really cool. Anybody who is really like, wants to tune up their controller, These options are awesome, especially if you're riding a high powered system like an ASI system. I mean, these things are pretty epic. We're gonna do a detailed video on that later. If you have the Bafang config tool on your laptop, most of these options are very, very similar. So you can do all this from your laptop also, but the EggRider gives you this option of doing it on the go. So that is very, very cool. Next option is your Bafang throttle. So designated assist. This is where you change if you want to have throttle all the time. I set it to level 8 all the time. You can change that to by display command. For example, like, you know, this will be giving you the same amount of power as your pedal assist level. So if you have pedal assist 2, you're only going to get 2 amounts of power. So I want to keep my throttle at 8 all the time. Your speed limit, start current, your advanced options are throttle mode is current, start voltage, and your end voltage. And so these are all your throttle settings over here. I'm just going to write it so it changes it on there. And then let me go back again. EggRider is recording your trip. Thank you so much. And the last option is Bafang torque. So base voltage, air voltage minimum, air voltage maximum, 0 speed boost time, your data voltage, and your speeds right here. So that's it for this EggRider video. Hope you guys found this content useful. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a comment if you have any questions. And until next time, peace.